Hello everyone, it's Anata here, and today we're going to be talking about why the Sharingan is the most overpowered ocular ability in Naruto. There are a lot of broken abilities in Naruto, there definitely isn't a shortage of them. Shadow Clone Jutsu, Chibaku Tensei, 100 Healings, Tengai Shinsei, and Wood Release. None of these abilities even come close to how overpowered the Sharingan is. Of course, there are a lot of abilities that might be equal to Sharingan, like Edo Tensei, but the Sharingan did stop Edo Tensei, so there's not really any abilities that even match up. When the Sharingan was first introduced, I thought it was pretty cool. It had that cool factor. When Kakashi first used it in the fight against Zabuza, it was explained that the Sharingan can copy any jutsu that isn't a Kekkei Genkai, and as long as the wielder of the Sharingan has enough chakra to perform the jutsu, there isn't one jutsu that isn't a Kekkei Genkai that they cannot perform, which is already broken. Like, that's pretty crazy. But stay tuned, it gets even worse as the series goes on. Also, in the Land of Waves arc, we learn that what makes the Sharingan so effective. The eye is split between the Eye of Insight and the Eye of Hypnotism. With the Eye of Insight, you can predict an enemy's attack before the enemy even throws it, see the movement of chakra or a buildup of chakra in parts of the body, but if your body cannot keep up with your opponent, the Eye of Insight won't work. The Eye of Hypnotism allows you to put your opponent under genjutsu to make them believe they are performing a jutsu when they aren't. And to an even more ridiculous degree, when Obito placed the Nine Tails under his complete control with the base Sharingan. Not with the Mangekyo Sharingan, just the base form. The Mangekyo Sharingan is a step up from the Sharingan. MS is awakened by killing someone you love or witnessing the death of someone you love. This iteration of the Sharingan is ridiculous. All of the MS powers are so overpowered it's not even funny. Itachi Uchiha unlocked two abilities from witnessing the death of Shisui Uchiha. He unlocked Tsukuyomi and Matarasu. Tsukuyomi is an unstoppable genjutsu that allows the caster to put a person under genjutsu and either live out their life in a matter of seconds or put them in a hellish torture for 72 hours in their mind. Itachi can control matter in this genjutsu, and he can also basically make you see whatever he wants you to see. It's ridiculous. This snaps the mind of the enemy, causing death. It's a one-shot technique. Now, I know that Kakashi and Sasuke didn't die after the run-in with Tsukuyomi, but Itachi was working undercover for Konoha, so he wouldn't kill his brother and ally. They were incapacitated for almost an entire arc, waiting for Tsunade to come heal them. So, like, this genjutsu is fucking nuts. Matarasu is another level of stupid. It's a flame that you can't extinguish. According to the data books, Matarasu is as hot as the sun, but that varies because whenever Matarasu is used, it doesn't turn the earth to ash. I believe it's referring to attack potency. However, just the fact that you literally cannot extinguish it is so broken. So, Jubito could not use Kamui because of the Ten Tails chakra. He wasn't in full control of it. He was nerfed on purpose because he literally would have been invincible. He would have had truth-seeking orbs, he would have had all this crazy stuff, and if he could phase through attacks, that was the end of it. You know, like, you can't one-shot everybody. So, just hearing about that is ridiculous. It's just like crazy. Like I couldn't imagine writing a character like that, and he's just invincible. We don't know what Madara's Mangekyo ability is, unfortunately, but I am sure it is equally broken as the rest of the other abilities. Now, there was... I can't remember what the name of the game was. It was one of the Naruto fighting games. It said that Madara had like an ability to reverse ninjutsu, or like not reverse ninjutsu, but like reverse time, and that would have just been so crazy. Like I couldn't even imagine that. Sasuke, he gained Matarasu, and he also gained Kagetsuchi, or Enton, which is Blaze Release, which allows him to shape a Matarasu into any shape that he wants. He used this in the fight against the Raikage when he put it on the outside of the skeletal Susano, causing the fourth Raikage to lose his arm. Which is just, it's crazy. And he also uses like with Enton arrows, like with his Susano, like this full body Susano, and he can like form it into the shape of like a crossbow bolt. So it's being shot from a spirit weapon from the Susano, which is almost, it's like the same level as a tailed beast, okay? And then you give him a visual jutsu that allows him to create a black fire that you cannot put out. Data books say it's hotter than the sun in attack potency. And you give him the ability of Kagetsuchi so he can form it into whatever he wants. So he could like make clones with it. Like that's ridiculous. Like imagine, now this is of course, I've never seen him use it before, but if he can form it into whatever shape, and you know Hashirama can use wood clones, I wouldn't see why he couldn't be able to do that. So imagine fighting adult Sasuke, right? You wouldn't last 5 seconds, but you go to punch one of his clones, and then it's just a Matarasu. Like, of course, you know, that's just me, like, speculating, but it could happen. So I mentioned the Susano before. You need 2 Mangekyo Sharingan to access the Susano. It's basically like an ethereal bodyguard, offensive and defensive capabilities. So, you know, like, what are you supposed to do? Like, imagine, right? Konohamaru, okay? You know, your little kid Konohamaru, all you got is like a shuriken jutsu and like flaming ash jutsu and the Rasengan, okay? And you're supposed to fight against that, you know, like the Susano. Like, how fucking ridiculous is that? So Itachi Susano actually is a little bit more overpowered, but he couldn't beat Madara with it or anything. But he actually has 2 spirit weapons called the Totsuka Blade and the Yatamir. Now the Totsuka Blade is similar to like the Reaper Death Seal, except Itachi can't die. So like he stabs somebody with the Totsuka Blade, and they're sealed inside the gourd, and they're put into Tsukuyomi for like eternity. So you know how it lasts a second in the real world, 72 hours in your mind. Yeah, you're in there for eternity. So he can put you in, and you can be tortured for eternity. It's nuts. And the Yatamir can block any ninjutsu or taijutsu. So any ninjutsu or taijutsu, the Yatamir can absorb it. So not only can he one-shot you with the Totsuka Blade, he also can block all of your attacks. So, like, where's the balance in that? Now, of course, Kishimoto did try to give some sort of balance to the Mangekyo Sharingan by saying that if you overuse the Mangekyo Sharingan, your eyes will be sealed and you can no longer see. But he like goes back on this by creating the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, which basically means that you can never lose your eyesight by using the Mangekyo powers. So to get the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, what you have to do is to transplant the eyes of another Uchiha who also unlocked the Mangekyo Sharingan. And they prefer, I think it's just supposed to be brothers, so like Sasuke transplanted Itachi's eyes into himself to get the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. But, like, all the balance is completely gone out of it. And this isn't even the end of the video. We still have more to talk about. This is how ridiculous it is. Next, we get into Izanagi and Izanami. Okay, these abilities can be used by the base Sharingan, and they're just ridiculous. Both of these abilities are sacrificial abilities. Izanagi lets you sacrifice one of your Sharingan in order to rewrite reality. Danzo, Shimura, Madara, and Obito all use this jutsu to escape death. This ability lets you be God over reality. So how Danzo used it is he transplanted a bunch of Sharingan into his right arm and one into his eye, which was Shisui's eye, so he has Kodo Matsukami. Of course, he's not going to sacrifice that eye because it's the most powerful Mangekyo like ever. So he has him in his arm, so essentially he can be basically killed that many times, and he just rewrites it. Obito, after the Uchiha clan massacre, just created a bunch of eyes, so after he gave his left eye to Kakashi, he just puts a new Sharingan in there, and then he can use Izanagi for as many times as he has Sharingan. He used it in the fight against Konan after she used her paper bomb thing. So Izanami is a one-shot technique that puts your opponent into an infinite loop of self-discovery until they realize who they truly are. So, just like Izanagi, you can bypass the blindness by transplanting another Sharingan and then just using it over and over again until you run out of Sharingan. So yeah, but Itachi used this in the fight against Kabuto, so like Sage Mode Kabuto, and he put him in Izanami because he couldn't kill him, so because it wouldn't release the Edo Tensei, so he basically had to force him to realize that what he was doing was wrong. So that's how he beat Kabuto. So that's ridiculous. That's why I was saying that's how he beat the Edo Tensei, because that's what happened. Now, this is all that I had to talk about today. But I do like the Sharingan. I think it's cool, but looking at it from a from an outside perspective, like any other ninja that isn't Naruto Uzumaki, Kakashi Hatake, like, you know, Madara, Obito, Sasuke, like, they're not going to be able to do anything against people who have the Mangekyo Sharingan or the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Now, the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan was only unlocked by 2 people, like, ever. So that was Madara after he transplanted his brother's eyes, after he transplanted Zuna's eyes into himself, and Sasuke after he transplanted Itachi's. But still, like, you're not doing anything. Like, you know, Choji, nope. Neji, as much as I love Neji, he's not doing anything to him. It's nuts. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please let me know. This is the first Naruto video on the channel. I might be doing some other things. I definitely want to start doing some character dissections, looking at other animes, things like that. But anyway, I will see you guys in the next video. See you guys later.